Hey guys, a few weeks ago I wrote an article on Medium about a volatility bot that I've been using to try and take advantage of large price swings in small market cap tokens. Now, what I will say is this is extremely risky. It's probably on the higher end of the risk scale when you're looking at bot trading, but there's definitely a place for it in a wider portfolio. And I do actually think that the reward could far outstrip the risk. Now, in this video, I'm going to take you through that platform. I'm also going to take you through some of the bots that I have set up, and you can see some of the profit that I've made already. Now, I'll point out that I am using small amounts. I think it's important that with these types of platforms and with this type of risk, you start with a small amount, you get comfortable, you figure out some lessons and you learn some lessons through that, and then you can start to increase those amounts once you're more comfortable. So that's definitely the approach that I'm taking to this. Now, the bot runs on a platform called Mizar. I've left a link to that in the description below. But I think the first thing to start with is pricing. So, I've covered Mizar before on this channel. I think that its lack of subscription is actually a really useful tool, particularly when you're in that test and learn phase where you want to try and understand how you can make this profitable. So the approach that Mizar are taking to this definitely helps with that. So if we head over to their website, we look at their pricing. The pricing is based on the volume that you trade on their platform. So you don't need to pay this at the end. You don't need to pay this at the start. The volume fee gets taken from the deals that you make on the decentralized exchanges. So in actual fact, you're paying the fees quite invisibly, but they are being taken when you make a deal. Now, you can reduce those volume fees. You can buy Mizar. This is completely optional, but you can buy Mizar, you can stake Mizar, and you can reduce those fees so that you keep more of the profit. Now, I think it's also interesting to highlight that if you wanted to go and stake 1 million Mizar, which would reduce the volume fee by 40%, from 1% to 0.6, you'd need 1 million Mizar. Now, currently that's priced at $157. So, if you decide to start using this and pay the 1% volume fee, and you find that you can make this extremely profitable, then it makes sense to go and look at reducing those volume fees. If you're just getting started, I wouldn't do that. I'd play around until you're comfortable. I do think, longer term, not financial advice, but I do think longer term that Mizar will increase in price. Every YouTuber says that about everything that they own, right? I get it. But the market cap for Mizar is less than 1 million, and its fully diluted valuation is 1.5, just over 1.5 million. So I think, there's definitely room for this to grow. So not only would you reduce the fees, but you might get some capital appreciation from buying the token up front. Again, not financial advice, but just bear it in mind if you plan to use this longer term. Okay, so with pricing out of the way, let's go take a look at the platform itself. Again, there's a link to Mizar in the description below. But the first thing you're going to see, particularly if you've logged in for the first time, is you're going to see these buttons up here. You can swap between centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges. So if you click over here on DEX, you will get brought to a screen similar to this. If you don't already have a wallet set up, you want to just head over here, click the little plus button, give your wallet a name, hit the create wallet button, so tick the box, and you will get provided with the seed phrase and the private key for that wallet. You can then import that into your wallet of choice, whether that be MetaMask or any other. What you'll need to do then is you'll need to transfer funds into that wallet. Now, let me be really clear. Don't transfer everything that you've got. Don't use this as a day-to-day wallet. Only put what you're willing to lose in this wallet. what you can do from this point is you can deposit, you can bridge to either between Base and Ethereum, or you can send money from this wallet. So the idea is that you can manage that wallet directly from this platform. You can also edit and delete the wallet if you no longer need it. So that's the setup of the wallet out of the way, very quick. As you can see here, you can see that I've got a number of deals. You're probably looking at this and going 34%, 34%, 27%, 43%, but there's only very small amounts in each of these deals. And if I head across to the history, you'll see that there's lots of green deals that far outweigh the red deals. Now you will see that I've got a couple of 99.9% losses. Those were rug pulls, not from the volatility bot, but in fact from a wallet copy bot that I'm using, that I were testing. They're now all paused, but there's a distinction here between wallet copy trading and volatility bot snipe. So, and those are two different types of bots on Mizar. I'll show you those in a minute. When I mentioned earlier that what I'm trying to do is take advantage of large price swings, let's just use Sendor as an example, right? You can see here, and you know this deal's been open, or was open, it's now closed with 31% profit, but I initially bought in here, I then DCA'd down here, and then I finally DCA'd here, and then I left it, right? Today, that deal closed, and it closed in 31% profit. Now, I'm not DCAing into every single one of these deals. I'm making some educated choices on which ones to DCA in based on the token itself, and based on how negative the percentage is. So there's a couple of things to take into account there. Some of these deals I'll just leave to run, and you know, if they close eventually, they close, great. If not, then you know they'll stay open. I'll take them as a loss. But as you can see, there's lots of volatility bot snipe trades that are closing in profit. You'll also see a couple that have closed in a loss. Now the reason for that is that the tokens that I chose in my tokens list, you know, this version of Nero was actually a scam, but you know, we can make that money back. It's fine. If I head over to the bots section, this is where you'll see the bots that are currently running. You'll see I've got one paused, and you'll see that there's a couple that are 0.054. You know, these are some recent tests that I'm doing with a bit of functionality that already exists in Mizar, which I'll show you in a minute. And then just to give you an idea, this is the wallet copy section. So this didn't do too well for me. I've paused all of these. This wallet that I'm copying seems to have done better than the others, so I'm going to leave that one to run for a little while and see how that performs. But we're not going to look at wallet bots. We're going to be focused on volatility bots, because these are the ones where we're looking to make quick profit from large price movements. So how to create one? If you head up here to new volatility bot, you can choose the chain that you want to set the bot up on. Now, bear in mind that the gas fees on Base are extremely cheap compared to the gas fees on Ethereum. Now, the last thing that you want is to make a loss and then to try and close that trade out and then to be charged $40 or $50 gas fees on top, right? That's why I've stuck to Base, particularly whilst I'm going through this process of really trying to kind of dial this in and get this working for me. You'll see over here you can choose the wallet. and you can choose a buy amount. You can manually enter amount, or you can use one of the presets down here. You can also set the slippage and the gas priority. You can set the take profit, and again, gas and slippage down here. And you can also set a stop loss. Now, I'm not using a stop loss, primarily on the basis that I want to take the decision of whether I DCA or close in a loss. And over here, these are the entry conditions. So you're waiting for price to go minus 10% in a 15-minute period. If that happens, enter a deal with this amount. And here's where you can whitelist some tokens. Now, I mentioned a little bit earlier that I've got a couple of bots that I'm testing some of the smart presets on. So what you can do over here is if you hit smart presets, you hit volatility, that'll give you the most volatile tokens, and it'll pre-populate them for you. So I'm testing some of this out. I am taking a bit of a look at some of these tokens to figure out, could there be scams? Could there not be scams? And the reason for that is the two Nero positions that I mentioned a little bit earlier that I closed at a loss. I didn't actually close them. They were scams. So it is important to do just a little bit of research on whether these are scams or not. The last thing that you want to do is end up getting, rug pull after rug pull. You've got to expect some. You've got to expect that at some point you're going to buy a token, and either there's going to be a rug pull, or it's going to be a scam and you can't sell it. That's happened to me a few times, particularly in the wallet copy. So bear that in mind. That will happen. Don't come in here and just go, I'm going to use 100% of everything that I'm worth and buy tokens randomly. That's just a bad idea. So with that done, with all of those set, you can hit the create a new bot button, and that will set the bot up, and you'll be off and you'll be running. So I mentioned taking a look at some of my bots. I think the first thing that we'll do is we'll head over and we'll look in the research tab. This is where you can see all sorts of stats on the tokens in the last 24 hours. There's even some quick filters here that will help you figure out which is the most volatile, which one's the most traded. The smart wallets volume, I'm not going to explain that here, but there is descriptions on all of these fields. Launch date's also pretty important, right? You don't want to be entering anything that's too new, right? At that point, you don't know if it is a rug pull, if it is a scam or not until it's too late. So, bear in mind the launch date. You probably don't want to be doing anything that's like less than 24 hours, and there's still risk to anything above 24 hours. So, be careful and bear that in mind. But in here, this is where you can go and find some of those token addresses. If we look at Magatrump, you can see that there's been some interesting price action on that. Again, it's got a relatively low market cap. You can see that price has pulled back. If we go up to the 15 minutes, what does that look like? Yeah, so that wouldn't have been, if we were doing a 15% pullback in 15 minutes, we wouldn't have got an entry here. But what you could see, if we go take based Minecraft, not a clue what this is, but there was a 15% pullback in this candle here, so we entered a deal. Now, again, these might continue downwards. I will then choose and make a decision of whether I manually manage them, close them out, DCA in, etc. So what we'll do, finally, let's go take a look at a couple of the bots that I'm running and look at a couple of those settings. Now, obviously, we look at the ones that's got the highest amount of profit. Let's take a look at this one. So if we go in here, we hit the edit button, you can see that here are all of the whitelisted tokens that bot is using. I'm looking at market caps between 60,000 and 200,000. I'm using the research tab to filter those out and then making decisions based on the list that I'm presented with. Price change minus 20% in 15 minutes with a 10% take profit. So if it pulls back 20%, I'm looking for a green candle up for a 10% profit and then close the deal. And that one uses $7 per trade against each one of those tokens. I do look to try and rotate the tokens that I'm trading relatively regularly. Really, I probably should do it as a daily thing, but I've been a little preoccupied for the last couple of weeks, and I've probably put less focus into this than maybe I should have done. So I guess that's it for this video. What I will say is I am planning to update on this over time. So in 3 months' time, I'll post another video about progress and how this is going. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. I've left links to Mizar and to the Medium article in the description below. And I've also left a link to the Mizar Discord group. So there's lots of information in there. I would head over there. I'd join. There's a channel main DeFi chat, I think. And if you're looking there, there's a bunch of people that have been super profitable with this. So, yeah, it's definitely worth taking a little bit of time, heading over there and doing a little bit of research in there too. If there are any questions, if there's anything you need, feel free to drop it in the comments below or head over to the Realistic Crypto Discord. Again, another link in the description. So many links, but another link in the description. Head over there. I'm usually, knocking around, answering questions. If there's anything that you want answering, feel free to head over and ask the question. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much and goodbye.